And we're rolling in 3, 2, 1. So, before it fades away into the gigantic maelstrom of celebrity gossip and Trump's newest tweets, I think that we really should talk about the whole Epstein thing. Because you know it's going to go away. You know it's going to disappear. It's one of the most sensitive and fascinating criminal cases that's happened in the United States in decades, and you know it's just going to get washed away under the sea of bullshit. Because that's how the media works. Media works by burying what is important under a sea of things that are interesting, but utterly useless. So why is Epstein important? Epstein's important, simply speaking, because he's actually connected to some of the most powerful people on the face of this planet, not just in the United States, but all around the area. He is tremendously wealthy, and most people don't even know where he got most of his wealth. Some of his clients are known. He was actually a hedge fund manager, and some of his clients are known, but most of his clients are not. That's the thing. The investigation has kind of gone nowhere, and this is not the first time it's happened. This man has been caught before effectively selling people. Selling human beings for sexual purposes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that not only is that illegal, but most of the human species, at least Western countries, have said that that was ethically wrong and illegal. Incredibly. And yet, the first time he was arrested and convicted, and of course confessed to the crime, he received about 13 months in jail that he was supposed to serve an 18-month sentence of. And during the day, for about 12 hours a day, he was allowed to leave prison and go to his offices, which were opulent, to say the very least. And of course, not only were they opulent, but of course, he could go right back to jail whenever he wanted, and his prison was in its own separate wing and his own private cell that he, in fact, paid for. Now, is that justice? Sounds like engineered justice by the person who's supposed to be on the receiving end of it. But, Kim Kardashian has a big ass. Everyone look at that! Oh my god! Oh hey, look at this little Canadian singer who can effortlessly hit the C6 note. Take a look at that. No. Don't worry about it. Don't worry that our presidents have been seen talking with this man. And no, I'm not talking about Mr. Toupee there, or I don't know if he's... You know what? Trump's 70. He's not exactly going to look like a model. Let's leave that one alone. The point is that I'm not talking about our modern day guy. I'm talking about everybody in the past. A tremendous amount of our presidents have been a part of this little, very widely known network. And all of them have gone through Epstein. Like, most of them have gone through Epstein. He was their procurer of, let's say, less than adult entertainment. If you get my drift. And if you don't get my drift, I'm talking about child sex slaves. In case you need that one chewed up and regurgitated for you. So, he's dead now. But he's dead the day before he was set to confess. Confess about everybody who he's had dealings with over the past couple of decades. Now, I used to work for a mental health facility. I know the protocols for Suicide Watch. Now, Suicide Watch, you're supposed to have people eye contact looking at you the entire time. Not eye to eye, obviously, but you're supposed to have live human beings watching you the entire time. The cameras are supposed to be pointed at you. You sleep in a room with no darkness so that you can't conceal or hide anything. Anything that could be used to kill yourself, shoelaces, belts, pants, anything, gone. So even if Jeffrey Epstein somehow smuggled a shiv into his prison cell, which would have been highly unlikely, if he had scratched that thing out of his no doubt cavernous asshole and tried to cut himself, well then guess what? There would have been several security guards on hand to pounce on that little bugger and stop that. But guess what? Not only was he taken off Suicide Watch, the two guards that were supposed to be watching him, the most high-profile prisoner in the United States at that point in time, definitely the most high-profile prisoner in that prison, the two guards apparently just fell asleep or wandered off. You know what? The story is getting really conflicted. The point is that they weren't there. They abdicated their duty. Also, why only have two guards on him? That's for a standard prisoner. This man is not a standard prisoner. This man is somebody who some of the most wealthy and powerful people in the world want dead. Now, most of us live in a reality that's not very visceral. Most of us have never seen the inside of our own guts before. Most of us have never butchered an animal or done anything like that, so we don't quite understand the visceral nature of life and death. But, as somebody who has seen the inside of their own limbs before, and has also butchered their own food, don't worry, I actually do try to cut down on my meat consumption. I'm mostly an omnivore. But let's go ahead and throw this one out here. Life and death are very close together. If somebody really wants you dead, it is very unlikely that you're going to be able to succeed. Forget what action movies tell you. Forget what the hell was that show that was on The Arrow. Forget what Arrow has told you. You shoot someone in the leg with a broadhead arrow, you're probably going to sever something important and they're going to bleed out. They're not just going to sit there like, my leg, and I don't know, I guess limp away. Fine. There's a reason armor was invented. It's because we are bags of hamburger meat, and when we get little holes poked in us, we tend to die. It's that simple. So, if someone truly wants you dead, and they have a lot of money, they can, generally speaking, make it happen. This is why it's a good idea not to piss off every single person that you meet. Because you can get struck in that temple the wrong way and not make it out alright. You can trip going down the stairs. People have killed themselves by sneezing too hard. So why wasn't Epstein kept under tighter guard? I'm not looking for an army of black belt ninja sharpshooting badasses to guard him. You know what? Even though the United States is wealthy enough to no doubt afford one of those and put them on guard him, no. I would have settled for a couple of extra guards. You know, just a few standing around. You put them on, you can put them on 6-hour shifts and have 20 guys just sitting around guarding him. But they didn't. They had 2 guys on him. 2. And both of those guys just mysteriously vanished. And then both cameras, all the cameras just mysteriously, by the way, not just the ones in the prison, but only the cameras in his room, shut down. All of them just gone. It's a miracle. Oh my God, he hung himself and we have no visuals on that. The cameras just stopped working, guys. Come on, you believe that? Or, the guards that were supposed to be looking after him? Oh, wouldn't you know it, they both kind of passed out. I'm honestly waiting for the FBI to release a statement that says, we had Jeffrey Epstein's diary, but gosh darn it, I was walking around with it in the rain, and I tripped over my own legs and dropped it down a storm drain. I would have gone in after it, but there were crocodiles down there, and I mean, we had photocopies, but my computer just happened to get attacked by a man with a hammer and a bag of salt water, who then, after he took the saltwater-soaked components and threw them into an incinerator, and, it's accident. It was a pure accident. Come on. Honestly, I kind of expected Jeffrey Epstein to have like 4 bullet holes in the back of his skull from a long-range rifle, and then for them to rule it suicide. Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise anybody. And yet, it's going to get buried. It's going to get buried. And you know why it's going to get buried? Because the right people want it to be. Because the right people feel the need to keep people like that quiet so that they can continue doing what they are doing. But, you know, you can trust the government. After all, they were guarding him and investigating the death. They're also friends with him, too. There's got to be a part 2 to this. I'll get my tinfoil hat out for that one.